Well, hello there, and welcome to your general weekly reading for the week beginning August 20th, 2018. This week I'll be using the Everyday Witch Tarot cards by Deborah Blake. And also intuiting any additional messages that are coming in from the universe and from the guides so that we can understand what we can all expect in this upcoming week. So I'm back. I apologize that last week was not recorded. It just wasn't going to happen. I had a loss in my family, and that just kind of takes over someone's life when you're trying to grieve and be there for family and also make arrangements and all of that stuff. So I appreciate your patience and thank you so much for coming back. And yeah, death is a really interesting thing. I think it makes all of us reflect on life and where we're going and all of that. And I know that we all grieve in our own ways. So my heart goes out to you if you have had loss this year. I know there have been a lot of people exiting the planet this year, every year, really. But in this year in particular, there has been a lot of loss for a lot of the people that I know. So if you have lost someone recently, my heart goes out to you. And I hope that you find peace in the fact that they're in a way better place on the other side. They are not on Earth anymore, where things are really painful and hard sometimes. So find peace in the fact that they are with Source on the other side. So I am taking this experience as a huge lesson and a piece of insight for me, and I will share more of my insights as they come through. I'm still in the initial little shock of it all, so I don't have a whole lot of comments about it at this time. So stay tuned. So this week upcoming. Feeling some throat action here. So it feels like there's some blocks clearing from the throat chakra, which of course could just mean not speaking your truth, things clearing, expressing yourself creatively, expressing yourself in general, all of those kinds of good things. I'm also feeling like there will be a bit of exhaustion in the air this week upcoming. And just a lot of energy coming in. So nurture yourself in whatever way you can and just be open to receive. So go out in nature, be open and receptive to receiving the beauty of nature. That's a really great way to receive whatever the universe is trying to bring to you. And if you're open and receptive, those things, the things that you're looking for, seem to find you a lot better and easier. So be out in nature, be acknowledging the beauty that's around you. Take long walks in the mornings. You know, if you can, get up and go for a walk right away and just start counting the things, not counting, start naming off the things even in your head if you don't want to say them out loud, of all of the things that you're grateful for. And do that at least in one direction. And then if you come back, you know, if you still want to continue to rattle off the things that you're grateful for, that's totally fine. But if not, just at least one way. It's time for us to kind of shift. There's a shift coming, thank God, in the next couple weeks, but it is time for us to kind of shift out of our current state and kind of evolve and move on to something else. Heavy burdens as well. So if you are experiencing some heavy burdens, if you're carrying a lot of weight, if you are carrying other people's stuff on your shoulders, let it go, release it. Another great thing to do when you're spending time in nature is to actually let go. Visualize yourself breathing whatever you don't want anymore and letting it go and giving it back to the earth. That'll be a really great thing to do for you as well. Yes, this isn't a time to break your backs trying to make something right or something happen. If things aren't happening right now, just let them go and pick them up again in the fall. Yeah, okay, we'll get into the cards. Okay. All right. So, okay. So for the theme of this week, we have the Queen of Cups. So when we see the Queen of Cups come in, we see an emotional, loving female presence. So as you can see, she's pregnant. So this could be a very fertile week this week for ideas, for birthing new projects, for birthing a human being. If you are expecting and you do give birth this week, seems like you'll have the Queen of Cups energy there behind you, helping you through that time. And this energy is very nurturing and loving. So that's really good news. That'll be a nice, light, kind of sensation going through this week, and this underlying presence pushing us forward. That being said, though, it is kind of low energy, and when I say low, I don't mean low vibrational. I feel it's like a tired, lethargic sort of energy. So this could just be how it's manifesting through this reading, but it's a very calming presence. It's a very calming underlying vibe going through the week. So no matter what this week throws at you, you can come back to that place of rest and that place of relaxation, and you should be able to do that easily because that presence will kind of always be there. And so if you do have the temptation to just kind of go within and just take some time and relax, that is the best thing for you to do this week. So for the Monday, Tuesday, we have the Justice card, and the Justice is a major arcana card. And as you can see, she's holding her, sorry, I'm drawing a blank. She's balancing both light and dark. As you can see here, I forget what this thing is called. So she's Justice, and as they say, justice is blind, but in this case, she's not, she's speaking. So in the beginning of the week, we don't have a whole lot of influence, which is okay. If you do have a legal battle or some sort of contract negotiations going on, it could come up favorably for you at the beginning of the week. It could wrap up at the beginning of the week. You could get some clarity. But what I am feeling, what I'm kind of seeing this as is a yin-yang situation. So by us bringing in this aspect of the divine feminine that is very nurturing and loving and emotional, very connected to one's emotions and very comfortable with emotions, we need to also merge that into the other aspects of our life. So maybe the more masculine projects and the more masculine parts of our lives, that we can start to mesh them both together. And we need to give light, or we need to give appreciation and acknowledgement to both the light and the dark, both things that are really great and really easy and things that are really difficult and hard. And so what this nurturing energy throughout the week is going to bring you is the opportunity to sit and get really comfortable with that, and to sit in a space of self-love and self-acceptance, while also looking at both the light aspects and the dark aspects, the female and the masculine. There is no good and evil in the eyes of God. So that those words just came up. That's what they just said to me in my head. So cut it with the labels. Who says what's right and what's wrong? It's up to your own compass, your own moral compass. Your own spirit is going to be your judgment. So if you're living by someone else's rules that don't fit with your own aspects of self-love, then it's time to look at those and question them. Why are they there? Why are you following them? Why do you follow this moral compass if it's not your own? So really look at those types of things that I do and I don't do this, and this is right and this is wrong, and really start to question those this week. The beginning of the week, that will just kind of happen naturally. You won't even have to really go looking for it. You'll just start to notice the things in your life that are perhaps out of order because they're just not in your order. And that is totally fine. We all make our own, we all have our own path. We all make our own rules. So do what you want, because no one else has to deal with your choices like you will. All right, so we have the Seven of Wands. And we haven't gotten this card in these readings for a very long time. So the Seven of Wands, you can see that she's kind of, her back is up against the wall, but she's not going to stop. She's going to keep on fighting, and she's just like going to go for it. So the middle of the week, you may feel a bit of conflict. You may feel a bit of pressure to get moving and to get going. Call on the people around you to help you with any issues or any situations that you're having difficulty with. And allow your emotions to work with you instead of fighting against them. So if this is you running up and running into your emotions and trying to fight them and combat them and defeat them, it's not the best use of your time. Sometimes it's good to fight for what's right in your own mind, in your own spirit, in your own body, and to just let it go and to just succumb to whatever the consequences or whatever the emotions that you have to deal with afterwards. Because we've spoken about this many times, but I'll say it again. You've got to feel the feels. You've got to feel whatever is happening in your body, no matter how uncomfortable it is. Take a moment to sit with it and acknowledge it, and then let it go. Because the more that you try to run from it, the faster it will chase you. And what I actually spoke with somebody about is we have a really unhealthy relationship with death in particular, and death can be physical, a human death, or it can be, you know, the death of a job, the death of a marriage, those kinds of things. We have really hard times with endings. So if you're not grieving an ending, even if it was a good ending, you still go through a grieving period. If you're not grieving it in some sort of way, if you're not giving an homage to that time that you spent with that person, in that relationship, in that job, if you're not giving it the time that it deserves and the attention and the love and letting it go, that will all pile up. And so then every time that something ends after that, then it will build up and you will feel it all at once. So the more that you push it down the road does not mean that you're never going to feel it. It just means one day it will come crashing down on you. So, and if you're taking the time now to really learn from all of your emotions and problems and all of these really weird, uncomfortable things within yourself, you'll actually learn a lot from yourself, and you'll have a better relationship with your emotions, because you will actually come to them as teachers, and you won't have a big of an urge to suppress it, because it won't be as painful, because it's little bits at a time instead of dealing with really big chunks. And so when you start to do this work and you start to actually look within yourself and start to feel the feels, it can feel really big and overwhelming. But, you know, you're not alone in this. You have friends, you have guides, you have Gaia. You can breathe in and breathe out and give your problems over to the earth and just sit with them and acknowledge that this is how you're feeling, but that's not you. It doesn't define you, and it doesn't mean that it's going to stay there forever. It's just a blurb in time, a little blip in time that you have to feel this way, and it's going to raise you up in the long run. So reframe this combative presence that we'll feel in the middle of the week, and reframe it to, I'm running head on into the storm of the tornado, and I'm just going to sit in the center of it and see what happens. The tornado being the chaos that is your mind and your emotions. Okay, and for the weekend we have the Ten of Cups, which is a really nice card. This is the card that just tells us that everything's going to be okay. You'll get everything you've ever dreamed of. It'll all be fine. You will live happily ever after. So the weekend, this is a call to enjoy life and to relax and to have fun. It's also a testament to the fact that you deserve everything in your life, and it's also a reminder to be positive. And if you are feeling down in any sort of way, or you're feeling confused, or whatever you're feeling, know that it's all going to be okay. You will find yourself somehow in some way, and you will be able to get everything you wanted. But sometimes you just have to go through the struggle a little bit, and who knows, maybe you're in the middle of your great story that you're going to share with other people. So just take time for yourself in whatever way that you need to, and honor yourself in every moment, because your life is happening. So stop waiting for things to happen and just start living in the now and start enjoying every moment, even if you're having a rough time. Just try to enjoy it as much as you can, which sounds crazy, I know, but if you stop and acknowledge it as it's not who you are, it's just kind of where you're at, and it's the lesson that you're learning in the moment, it'll serve you in such a better way. And then you won't let it consume you as much. Anything else? There's just so much here. Lots of energy this week. Be open to receiving. Be open to observing your own self. There is a shift coming, but that's also going to be a call to action for you to shift how you are. Not who you are, but how you are. How you present yourself in this way, in this earth, in this lifetime. How are you collaborating with all aspects of yourself? And how are you letting these aspects of you drive you? And what is winning? So you heard the story of the bad wolf and the good wolf. It's whichever wolf you feed. So which part of you are you feeding? Are you giving acknowledgement to both sides, but feeding the light? Or are you feeding maybe too much into the dark aspects of yourself? Sitting with the dark is so good and so insightful and wonderful. But you need to feed the light within yourself, because we have enough darkness going on. And, you know, giving yourself that time and acknowledgement in the dark is 100% what you should be doing. But make sure that you're feeding the light. Make sure that you are feeding your soul in the way that you need to. Make sure that you are being a great and kind person. Make sure that you are giving back and you are being grateful, and that you are not going out into the world carrying your darkness with you and splattering it all over people. Save your darkness for your own inner reflections. And when you are sharing your darkness, you're sharing your story, do so in a way that's loving, not only to yourself, but to the other people around you, and not allow it to transform into hate and outward hateful expression. If that makes sense. I hope that you have a fantastic week ahead, filled with so much light and love and darkness, even going into the darkness, feeling it, allowing it to teach you, and knowing that everything is actually going to be okay. This whole hard time you're experiencing, if you are right now, it's all good. It's not going to last forever, and things are shifting. And I'm kind of feeling like the second week of September, things will really be different. And I really hope that that is the case, because time doesn't exist on the other side, so sometimes it's hard to estimate when that will happen. But a shift is coming. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching my videos. If you haven't already, please head on over to katiehunt.ca to subscribe for your chance to win a free Reiki session. I hope that you have a fantastic week ahead, and I will see you next week.